Hi everyone. Today's practice is going to be a lot about balance and kind of playing with how that feels in our body and how our body needs to respond when we kind of change things up a little bit, okay? So we are going to use two blocks today. So if you don't have blocks nearby, finding a hard-covered book maybe, and a chair if that works best for you for a little bit more stability, okay? So just finding what it is that you need, and then we're going to come into a comfortable position for our centering. So sitting up nice and tall through your sit bones, feeling both sit bones rooting downwards equally, just as always. Check in with those bottom ribs. Sometimes they really like to pop forward. Can you draw those bottom ribs a little bit down towards your navel? Elbows can become heavy downwards here. We're just going to close down the eyes or soften your gaze. Checking in with your physical body, noticing how it's feeling today on this given moment. And starting to bring your awareness down in towards your sit bones. And can you imagine with your mind's eye, your next inhale, drawing that breath in through your right sit bone, all the way up the right side of your spine. And then as you exhale, releasing that breath through your mind's eye, through the crown of your head. Your next inhale happens through the left sit bone. And exhale through the crown of your head. And we're just going to alternate this from side to side. One more breath here. All right, gently bringing your chin down towards your chest. Let's take a full inhale. Sign out that exhale. Gently blink and open your eyes here. And bringing your gaze back up to center. All right, so let's find our way into our tabletop position. Now we are going to be in tabletop for a little while. So if your wrists tend to be a little bit tender here, give yourself a little roll up of your mat here just for a little bit of extra cushioning, okay? And you can put your the heel of your hand on that roll of your mat. All right, so knees are going to have a little bit of space between them. Palms are going to be about shoulder width apart or so. Now feel that sensation of actively pushing the floor away from you. Whenever you're ready, with your next inhale, gaze is going to come forward. You're going to draw the sternum forward through those shoulders. And then as you exhale, begin to curl through your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tail, finding that cat-cow that we always talk about, it seems. And then whenever you're ready, lengthening outwards. And just a couple of times like this, and then we're going to change it up and play with it a little bit. All right, the next time you're ready, we're gonna come all the way back to that tabletop position. Now, whenever you're ready, we're gonna change up that cat-cow a little bit, focusing on drawing your tailbone down first here. So tailbone is going to lead the movement. Keep the shoulders nice and stable here, actively pushing the floor away from you as you start to round through that mid-back in towards the ribs. Keep curling, 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 curling up towards the shoulder blades. Keep it curling all the way up towards the upper back, and then finally the gaze is the last thing to come down. We're going to lift the tailbone, again leading with that sit bone up towards the ceiling here. Focus on drawing those hip pointers down towards the earth, and then you slowly move in towards that mid-back. This one's tricky to reverse. Coming all the way through the chest, and gaze comes forward. All right, switch it up one more time like that. This is a tricky one. Keeping the chest lifted for as long as you possibly can. Bottom ribs start to lift first, then in towards the shoulders. And finally the gaze. And then we switch it up. All right, take a moment, shift your weight back whenever you've completed that, and shake out the wrists a little bit. Give them some love. All right, so we're gonna come back into our tabletop position here. I want you to root downwards in towards the tips of your fingers here. Again, actively push the floor away from you. Reach your sit bones back behind you and tips of the ears forward. Now we're going to focus on playing with the balance here a little bit. So whenever you're ready, just hover that left hand off of the floor. Notice what areas of your body had to kind of compensate for that. And then we're going to switch it up. Root downwards through the left hand, right hand hovers. Now see if you can resist that temptation to really shift the weight from side to side here, okay? So we're just going to keep everything in midline, hovering the hand off of the floor, and it can be a small little hover. It can just be right above the floor. Whenever you're ready, come back down, root downwards through both hands again, and then we're going to shift the weight in towards that right knee, hover the left. But again, focus on not shifting the weight all the way over to the opposite side of the mat. So can you stay somewhat squared here? So switching it up, going from knee to knee. And last one. All right. Now, let's lift that left knee off the floor. Maybe you want to challenge yourself by lifting the right hand. Ooh, stay with it. And let's release that down. Over to the opposite side, really focusing in on that balance here. All right, let's bring it back down. Now, can you lift knee and hand at the exact same moment? And release them down together. And hover. Release it down one more time like that. And last one. All right, again, shake out the wrists a little bit. Okay, last challenge on tabletop here. We're going to root downwards through the hands. Again, we're going to find that balance of hovering that left hand, right knee. This time though, what we're going to do is we're going to extend through both of them in opposite directions. Reach, reach, reach as though you're trying to touch opposite walls. Push out of this right shoulder. Stay nice and tall. Stay in control as you bring both back down onto the mat and touch the mat with the knee and the hand at the same moment in time. Beautiful. Root downwards in towards that left hand, right knee. And at the same moment in time, we're going to lift the right hand, left knee. All right, extending through both in opposite directions, nice and slow. Beautiful. Take a full inhale and exhale. Let's stay in control as we bring it down. Slower movements are often much harder to stay in control of. Let's bring it back all the way down. Tuck the toes under, lift your sit bones. Downward facing dog. Take a full inhale here and a complete exhale. All right, gaze is going to come forward. Let's step that left foot between the hands. This is where it might be nice to have your blocks underneath your hands or using that chair for a little bit of extra stability, okay? So let's feel that sensation of plugging that left thigh in towards your left hip socket. Gentle little lift through the chest here so that you can become lighter through the fingertips. Actively root downwards through both feet. So we're not sending all of the weight in towards that front foot at the moment. Take a full deep inhale, lengthen through the tips of your ears, come a little bit higher. Nice. Take a full deep inhale. Whenever you're ready, we're going to shift the shoulders over top of the hips. All right. Sweep your arms up overhead. Take a full deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're going to sweep these left fingertips down towards the earth. Again, slow and intentional movement. Okay. Playing with our balance here a little bit. So keep plugging this left thigh in. Imagine that you're trying to scissor those inner thighs towards one another. Right arm is reaching up, left arm is reaching down. Take a full deep inhale here. And then as you're ready, bending through that back knee, lift that back heel a little higher. Dip it down. Beautiful. Push the floor away. Stay in control. Let's come all the way up. One more time like that. And push it away. Nice. Let's sweep those left fingertips forward. Hands come back down onto those blocks. Step your right foot forward to meet the left. Take a full inhale here and lengthen. And exhale. Support yourself on your blocks. Step your left foot back this time. Plug your right thigh in toward your right hip socket. Scissor those inner thighs. Root downwards through both feet. Set yourself up nice and strong here. A little bit lighter through the fingers. Feel those bottom ribs gently draw behind you as you lengthen through the tips of your ears. Nice. Whenever you're ready, sweep both arms overhead. Shift your shoulders over your hips. Take a full deep inhale. And then as you exhale, reaching through these left fingertips as the right fingertips sweep down and back behind you. All right, so feel those right ribs drawing back, left ribs drawing forward. Full deep inhale, keep scissoring those inner thighs. And then as you exhale, we're going to dip that back knee down. Woo. Push it away, stay in control. Keep reaching through those fingers, last one. And push it away, come all the way back up. Bringing both arms forward. Whoa, I almost fell out. As you exhale, both hands down onto those blocks. Step it forward. Take a full inhale here, lengthen. And an exhale to forward fold. All right, so we're going to go back over to the opposite side. Right foot is going to step back behind us. Left foot is forward. Plug this left thigh in towards your left hip socket. Take a full deep inhale. We're going to push in towards this left foot. Roll up through that right foot. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen here. Keep this left hip hugging in. Root downwards in towards the ball of your left big toe. And then we're going to lift the back of that right thigh up off of the floor, okay? So feel yourself lifting that thigh a little bit higher. Now maybe it feels okay for you to walk those blocks forward. This is where we're going to play with our balance a little bit, as if we aren't already. So see if you can be a little lighter through your fingertips. So instead of turning those hands white, gripping onto those blocks, can you find a little bit of softness there? Find a little smile with your lips. Hug this left hip in. Take a full inhale. Maybe you can take one hand away. Maybe bring that one back down. Maybe you can take the other hand away. Woo! Almost there, you guys. Maybe it's available to you to take both hands away, but maybe not today. It's all good. Keep pushing through that right foot. Take a full inhale. And as you exhale, bend through that front knee. Nice. Set the back foot down. Take a full deep inhale, lengthen here. And then as you exhale, we're going to turn those right toes towards the long edge of your mat. Both hands are going to come down onto your block off to the right side of your mat, okay? So we're going to shift the weight forward a little bit over the front corner of your mat there, okay? And we're just coming down into what we call our humble warrior. So upper body is going to be in a downward facing dog position and lower body is in a warrior position. Keep plugging this left thigh back. Imagine trying to gather your mat up with your feet, lots of strength through your legs. Push the floor away from you through your hands. And take a moment, catch your breath. All right, whenever you're ready, gaze is going to come forward. Shift yourself back up towards the top edge of your mat here. We're going to step that right foot forward. Halfway lift, lengthen here. And as you exhale, left foot is going to step back. All right. Use your hands on your blocks here to support yourself. Plug this right thigh in. Scissor those inner thighs towards one another, okay? So you're going to find that strength there already. Lengthen through the tips of your ears. Low belly is gently lifting away from that front thigh. All right, now start to shift your weight in towards that front foot. Peel your left foot away from the floor. Lifting the thigh away from the earth here. And then whenever you're ready, straighten through that front leg. Whew. All right, imagine that you're trying to hold up a wall behind you with that back foot. Keep lifting in and up through that supporting hip. Get a little lighter through those fingertips. Maybe one hand lifts. Maybe you switch it up to the opposite hand. Maybe both hands lift. And whenever you're ready, bringing your hands back down. Beautiful. Let's bend through that front knee. Step that left foot back. Turn your toes out towards the long edge of your mat. Take your left block with you over the front corner of your mat out to that 45-degree angle. Extending through the shoulders here. Plug your right thigh in. Push the floor away. Nice and strong. All right, whenever you're ready, gaze is going to come forward. Walk yourself back up towards the top edge of your mat. And we're going to step it forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Bend deeply through the knees. Push the floor away from you. Maybe the hands come onto your thighs. And we're going to come all the way back up. If you get a little lightheaded, tuck your chin down towards your chest. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of our blocks here. We're just going to have it there so that we can place the right foot onto it, okay? Hands come onto your hips here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push down in towards that right block or the book that you have. If you don't have something that's going to be really stable for you, go to one of your stairs that you have in your house there, okay? So we're going to push down in towards the block. This kind of plays with our balance a little bit because we are on a much more squishy surface here with these blocks. So let's hug this right hip in. You've got a little kickstand on that left side. Lengthen up through the tips of your ears. And then maybe you can hover that left foot off of the floor. Nice. Take a full inhale here. And then whenever you're ready, we're just going to allow that left foot to dip down towards the earth. Push the floor away, and let's bring it back up. All right, so we're just going to find this gentle little dip down on the left side, feeling that right hip hugging in as you lift the left, all right? Lots of strength through that supporting leg. Last one here. All right, so can we switch it up over to the opposite side? Okay, so feel yourself rooting downwards through the left foot, little kicks down on the right this time. Hug this left hip in, lots of strength, and then whenever you're ready, we're just gonna hover that foot, dip it down towards the earth, and then lifting back up as you hug this supporting hip in. That's the movement that I want you to focus in on, is this hugging in, which causes the opposite hip to lift, okay? So we feel the pelvis kind of rotating over the head of your femur on the left side, okay? So it's rotating over. Last one here. All right, whenever you're ready, coming all the way back down. Set your block aside for the moment. Let's just shimmy that out a little bit. You can shake out one leg and then the other. All right, so we've given the hips a lot to think about today, I feel like. So let's come all the way back down onto our mats. Take a moment, shake out the legs a little. Windshield wiper from side to side. All right, so let's bring the bottoms of the feet towards one another here. Finding our bound angle pose or Baddha Konasana, all right? Now for some of us, coming into this bound angle pose gets a little bit crunchy through the hips. So if that is you, grab hold of your blocks or some pillows and just placing them either underneath your knees or even your upper thighs can be really supportive, okay? Just taking some of that weight out of the hip sockets. All right, so listening to that, if that is your experience here, we're gonna sit up nice and tall through the crown of the head or through the tips of the ears. Feeling your pelvis rotating forward, so the pubic symphysis, that bone at the front of your pelvis there, is going to be drawing downwards. Sit bones are kind of drawing towards the back edge of your mat. And then let's just take a moment to settle in here. Making any adjustments that you need to support through the hips. Taking a full deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, just allowing yourself to start to round through your spine. Crown of the head can become heavy down towards the earth here. Forearms can come down onto the mat or onto your inner ankles or shins. Chin can tuck in towards your chest. Shaking out your neck a little bit, just really gently. Sending your breath in towards the back side of your body. And whenever you're ready, pushing the floor away from you through your hands, we're going to roll all the way back up. And soften those shoulders down your back. Help your knees back up to center. And then we're going to come over with the feet towards the left side of your mat. Your right hand is going to come behind your right hip here, all right? So I want you to feel yourself root downwards through both shins, okay? So your shins and your knees are really rooting downwards here. When you're ready, push the floor away from you through your hand and both shins. You're going to lift your pelvis away from the earth here, pushing out of this right shoulder joint. And then if you feel okay with it, through your left shoulder, opening up overhead behind you, feeling your chest opening up nice and broad towards the ceiling. Actively push the floor away from you here, lifting, lifting, lifting. And then as you exhale, you come all the way back down. We're going to switch over to the opposite side. Push the floor away from you through that hand behind your left hip, opening up the front side of your body. Take a moment, full inhale, and a complete exhale. One more time. And again, as you exhale, you're going to come all the way back down. All right. Hands are going to come behind you here. We're just going to gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Okay, so coming back to center, we're going to extend that right leg forward. Left foot is going to come in towards the left sit bone. For some of us, it might feel nice to cross it over that right thigh, okay? So play with that in your own body. For some people, it's much more accessible for their bones to kind of orientate just by drawing that heel in towards your sit bone, okay? So let's lengthen up through the tips of the ears, feeling your sit bones rooting down towards the earth here. Right hand is going to stay on that left knee, and let's bring the left hand behind the left hip. Root downwards through this right leg. Full deep inhale to lengthen here. And then as you exhale, I want you to feel those left ribs drawing back and the right ribs drawing forward. One more time like that, full inhale. And then as you exhale, maybe there's a slight little increase in that spinal twist, but really listen in. We're not going to a full extent here. Just finding that position that's comfortable for you. Sometimes that left knee really wants to knock outwards. See if you can draw your thigh in towards your low belly. Let's take a full inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come all the way back to center. Switch it up. Left leg extends, right knee in towards your sit bone or crossing over your thigh. Lengthen up through the tips of your ears. Push through the back of that left thigh. Left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind your right hip. Push the floor away from you, lots of length, and then as you exhale, right ribs draw back and the left ribs draw forward. Making any little micro adjustments here that feel appropriate. And whenever you're ready, let's come all the way back to center, unravel yourself. Taking a moment here, let's extend through both legs. Reach your arms up overhead. Full deep inhale here, push the backs of your legs down towards the earth. And then as you exhale, we're just going to forward fold over your thighs here. Now for some of us, hands down onto the shins or onto the floor, I should say, is going to be most appropriate. For others, maybe you want to grab hold of your big toe or the outer edge of your feet. So just listening in. What is it that works best for your own body today? Let's continue to push the backs of the thighs down towards the floor and feel like you're pushing the bottoms of your feet into the wall in front of you. Take a full inhale here to lengthen. And then as you exhale, can you feel those sit bones reaching back behind you just a little bit more? Soften through your shoulders, soften through your jaw, soften your gaze. Full deep inhale. Exhale, use your hands to walk yourself all the way up, back to a seated position, supporting yourself as you bring yourself all the way down onto your back. Any movements that might feel appropriate for your own practice here, taking the time to do so. And then just finding your way into some stillness. Maybe it feels appropriate to extend your arms out beside you or extend your legs. Checking in, noticing how you feel. Noticing all of that little chatter that maybe you had going on at the beginning of practice. Have you been able to set some of that aside? Feeling the mat beneath you, the texture of the floor. Becoming aware of the sensation of your clothing on your skin. Allowing yourself to just watch and observe your breath. Giving yourself the permission to spend as long as is comfortable in your Shavasana today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.